guys, we're back. This is John.
And it's Eric.
And Ray.
And it's What If Geeks. And it is, what the hell is today? January 13th. Tuesday.
Yes.
Tuesday.
Is it the 13th?
It is the 13th.
No, it's the 14th.
14th?
It's the 14th.
Yeah, it is the
14th.
14th.
It's a day. I've been having a hell of a couple of days of work. Busting my ass over there. They're all running together now. All right. So today we are going to jump into the Geekly Weekly. That does not come off the tongue very well. It sounds cool. It looks cool. I can't say it. So, I guess we'll start this one off with, one, how we doing? Because we haven't seen Ray in forever. He was supposed to be here last week, but he was dying.
Yeah.
Immediately after you, I was dying.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
It was just going around.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Everybody's got it.
January is always cold and flu season in Florida. And
yep.
Everybody thinks, you don't catch colds down there. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had it bad last week, Thursday.
Yep.
Wednesday, I felt bad at work. It was like slowly getting worse. I'm like, oh, this sucks. So then by the time, Thursday morning, about 2:30 in the morning, I woke up and I already knew. I told them, I was like, I'm probably not coming into work. Thursday morning around 2:30, I get up and it's like 103 was my temperature.
Oh.
I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I was fuck it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So I had the respiratory thing.
And that's what I got left. Yeah. So
mine too.
That fever kicked sometime Friday, or mid-afternoon. No, mid-morning, around lunch. It hung on. I was like, dude, come on. Usually if I get a fever, it's for half a day and then it'll break, you know. But then this one just sucked and it really hit hard. And now it's right in my throat and in my chest. And I'm just like, whatever. I'm done with this shit.
It's still okay. Yeah, it still
doesn't matter.
I know.
You're gonna get it. So So that's what else you been up to? You've been busy at work too, huh?
Oh yeah, it's just after Christmas. We got marathons going on.
Yeah.
So that's when everybody's down. I think it's worse now than it is at Christmas because they're here, packed in for 2 weekends, and they're driving you nuts.
Yeah.
They're not that I have anything against anyone, but they can be some of the worst people to deal with in an arcade. That this is broken. They have the I want to see your manager hair. And you know what I'm talking about. Not everybody. I apologize to anybody who feels they're in that category. But
no, we gave apologizing like a year ago.
There you go.
That's when we started.
They had the Dopey Challenge this weekend, right?
This weekend coming up, I think or was that Sunday?
No, it was this past weekend.
It was this past weekend. Okay, because there's another one this weekend too.
Is there?
Yeah. So they're all still in town.
Just one every day at that fucking place.
Well, it's like they don't give anybody a break. It's like there's no quiet at Disney anymore. Do you remember a time when you could go to Disney and if you saw a dozen people in the park, that was a good day? You don't see that anymore.
Yeah, no, they're all there.
It's and I don't understand the definition. That's not my definition of fun. Like standing in a long, long line of people with people and they're all upset and want to be first and no thanks. No, you can have it. Here's my spot in line. Enjoy. I'll go home. I'll watch it on YouTube.
That's what I do. Because we live here, so I'm like, I don't know. I'm good. I'm just tired of dealing with them.
Well,
I go once in a while.
That's exactly how I am. I have an annual pass just to get the magnets for my wife, and that's it. I don't go any other time.
Those are some expensive ass magnets.
They are. It sucks,
no
man.
Shit.
Jesus. And then you stand in line for those damn things.
Yeah.
And you're like, when's the fucking line end? And forget it.
Yeah.
But then there's other news. I don't know if you guys caught the news today that it was actually yesterday that they announced the Super Nintendo Land. That's actually opening first in Japan before the Olympics, but we're getting it here in Orlando in the next 2 years.
That's Universal.
Yeah, Universal.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did if you haven't seen it...
they announced that... what was that Comic-Con? That one?
I don't know. I remember covering
it on
the
show. Yeah.
Oh, the Epic Worlds or whatever. That's the new park that they're opening, but that's where Nintendo Land is going to be.
Right.
And they basically kind of opened the floodgates yesterday as to what's going to be there, sort of, but they're going to have their own interactive wristband, very similar to a Magic Band. But it's basically interactive play within the park confines. So, you'll be able to hit question blocks and get coins and all kinds of other stuff on an app on your phone. So I thought that was really cool. And then they'll have 5 or 6 different bands. And so It'll be interesting. I think that's why Disney has been in a panic the last few years, because they announced that in 2017, and it just seemed like right after that, Disney like took a dump in their pants and said, "Oh my God, we better get on something." Oh, Star Wars! We'll just build a Star Wars land.
Yeah. Well, you know they get they just bought another 235 acres.
Yes,
something on the northwest side. It was a lot of
land that they already owned. Let's put that into perspective. They used to own that land,
sold it off,
and bought it back.
Yeah,
because they weren't sure that they were going to use it back in the late 90s when things were kind of tight over there.
Yep.
But then all of a sudden, now they need the land and they bought it back. So I'm pretty excited. It looked amazing. So I have a link to it on the Arcade Archives website. You can go on there and view it. It's really cool. It's about a 20-minute video. They basically go over some of the details. We know what the rides are going to be. Right. But they go over some of the details, and they show off these wicked cool wristbands that interact with the area that you're in. Very similar to Star Wars, where you have things you can do on your app. But this is really cool having the wristband thing, I think. So pretty excited about that. And can't wait for that to open here. So
you too?
Oh, that was me.
Oh.
He's this one today.
Oh, that's you. Never mind.
You're turning me down.
Well, that's right. It shows you what I think of you.
Excuse me.
Ray's just coming in hot.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that's all good. But I'm excited for that one. This is gonna be fun. There's all kinds of shit going down within the rumor mill. We covered a whole bunch of that shit while you've been
right.
Gallivanting around doing what the fuck you're doing.
Having a life.
I'm excited to ride the Mario Kart ride. That's what I'm most looking forward to.
Right.
I just remember when they announced it, we did a huge podcast on what we speculated back then. And of course, Mario Kart was like the first thing that came up. But I was really hoping for a Luigi's Mansion. I really thought that would be cool, giving everybody, either some sort of wand or something that looked like the vacuum from the game, and doing a walk-through attraction or even a ride-through attraction and sucking up ghosts. I thought that would be just kick-ass.
You could do it something akin to like the Buzz Lightyear ride.
Yes.
Or,
or the Men in Black ride or anything like that. I agree 100%. I think that would be so freaking cool. Considering I just got the Luigi's Mansion 3 for Christmas, which, by the way, is probably the best Luigi's Mansion made so far. Yeah. That game's amazing. And and then they have an arcade version too, and it plays almost similarly to having an attraction, because you have the vacuum cleaner attachment, you just point at the screen.
Right.
And you suck the ghosts up. And I thought that would be so cool as a ride. That would. I mean, people would stand in line for that shit all day long.
Yeah, they would.
But
Universal, call us.
Yeah. They have that Donkey Kong coaster, too. That's going to be pretty kick-ass.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, so...
Yeah, there was something else in my head and it went away too.
Whoops.
It's all right. I'm having those old moments right now.
About Universal or Disney? Or?
No, just overall.
Just overall?
Yeah, just like the shit that we've been talking about, trying to catch him up on what we've been talking about, and kind of like rehashing a couple things, but it's no big deal. All right, cool. Yeah, so anything with you, Eric? Anything new?
No, not really. Haven't been doing much.
Cool.
Except watching a lot of TV. But we'll get into that in a minute, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll get into it. All right, so cool. So let's jump on Florida Man then. Not that way, though.
Florida Man. All right, I got one here.
All right, go ahead.
This is technically California Man, but it is Florida Man in spirit. I think this couple came from Florida originally, so
it counts.
Yeah, it counts.
Yeah, like I said, they're spreading the good gospel of Florida Man nationwide.
So the headline is California couple left bikes in yard to lure thieves and then beat them with bats.
Oh, right.
So what they were doing is, what makes them Florida Man is not probably that they did this, because in some sick way this is sort of like a poetic justice, right? You leave a bike out to steal. They actually got arrested for this, though, for what it's worth, and I'll get to that in a second. But so they were leaving a bike outside in front of their house, and then somebody would come to steal it, and they'd be right inside waiting, and they'd rush out and they'd beat them with baseball bats, right?
Oh shit!
The problem was, well, other than beating people with baseball bats, I guess, they were recording it and they put it up on YouTube.
Oh god!
So
stop recording your misdemeanors and felonies and posting them online, you idiots. That's evidence.
There was no life-threatening injuries anyway. They ended up getting 4 people and posting those videos up before they got caught, I guess.
Jeez.
And the police got them. But there's a bit of a question here, because they were arrested basically for luring people in to get beat, right? But if you leave a bike in your yard, are you really luring people? No one should have a thought that they can walk up and steal your bike. That's kind of fucked up.
Right. They probably got him on the whole. Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. And yeah, because like if Noah's bike is outside and I see my ring go off and I see somebody on my porch, I'm whipping their ass. I bet they got him on somewhere within that video. They were like talking about how they were luring him in, so now it's premeditated.
That's right.
That
yeah.
kind of so that's how you get them. But yeah.
Well, it's like those other videos you see online where they do something to they chain the bike up and leave it somewhere.
Yeah.
And they don't, they hide the chain so you can't see it. And then poor schlub gets the bike, he rolls down the hill.
Yeah.
So that
gets 100 feet away and then it flips.
Yeah. Then you all point and laugh. So that's kind of like 2.0, I guess. They took it a step farther.
Yeah. The charges they took him in on were assault with a deadly weapon, which makes perfect sense. But then conspiracy was the other charge.
Yeah, so premeditation, conspiracy.
And just a point of fact that as you were reading that, the ad in the article was for Chuck E. Cheese.
I didn't even notice.
Oh, man. Oh.
Well, hey, it's Scared Straight Florida Bike Edition.
Yeah, it's something, man.
We're going to straighten them out. Look, if you're not going to raise your kids, Florida Man's going to do it for you.
That's right. That's right.
What you got, Ray?
Are you ready for this? I don't even have to read this article. I just have to read the tag. That's how good this one is. Florida man arrested for hanging on a traffic light and shitting on cars passing underneath.
I should have saved it.
And just to let you know, meth was involved.
Yeah.
Okay, just a point of contention there. And of course, he looks like something from the Lord of the Rings.
Holy shit!
Oh Lord!
Oh man!
What kind of shit-eating Baggins? Jesus!
I'm surprised that dude could climb a street light.
That's what I was saying.
Impressive.
Man, that's just crazy.
Wow.
That they caught this man, and it took somebody to call the cops saying, excuse me, there's a guy shitting on cars from a street light. Think about that phone call for 1 second,
Right? 911, what's your emergency? I don't know how to explain this, but a hobbit just shit all over my car. Where are you?
Oh, man.
35th and Main.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Fortunately, I'm not the car being shit on.
Oh, my God.
That'd be some YouTube video right there, huh?
Right? All right. So, last but not least, geez, I should have saved yours. It's better than this one. This one's good. Not as good as that. It's not shitting on a car from a traffic light good. But apparently, Florida man's midnight snack was a half-gallon of Colt 45 and a chicken bacon ranch sandwich.
Oh, wow.
The problem was he didn't fucking pay for it at the 7-Eleven, so the cops had to come chase him down.
They have chicken bacon ranch at 7-Eleven? That's something
I'm pretty sure none of the three things in that sandwich are real.
Yeah, that's
You know what,
scary.
though? Their chicken strips aren't bad.
Yeah?
They're not bad. Wouldn't eat their pizza, but their chicken strips aren't bad.
It's been a while since I bought food from a 7-Eleven. Just only
Yeah, me
got,
too,
like, a Publix right down the street, so...
See,
but I guess if you're at the gas station and it's a 7-Eleven,
being in the arcade industry as I have, you become a connoisseur of
shit food.
That's what you do. Like I can tell you the entire menu at Speedway on property.
He gets in line, people are in his way, like just what do you want? What do you want to know?
Get out of line. I've known since I was 5 what I want.
Jesus. All right, so he apparently got locked up.
Oh.
All right, so yeah. Oh, the shitting, that was
I think they all got locked up. It's
All right, cool. So there was Florida Man. We are 3 for 3. That was a good one.
That was a really good one.
Holy shit. All right, so now we will get into the Geekly Weekly. I'll let Eric take over.
Oh, you want to do what are you into?
Oh, yeah, let's do what are you into. And before we get a little bit further, I'll make an announcement for everybody. I know the last couple times we've been hanging out, Heather said we've been a little bit extra loud when she's trying to put Noah to bed or when she's trying to relax or whatever, so she can hear us banging on the table and kind of yelling and carrying on. So she would like us to tone it down about 20 notches. So
we started early, so we're safe, right?
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Depends on how much alcohol is involved.
Yeah. So just so you're pre-warned, try to keep it down. All right, good. What are you into? Anybody? Eric?
So I've been trying to read through the boys anthology that I have for the upcoming season, which I don't actually remember when it's coming, but it's a ways out, I think. So.
Yeah, we got time. Yeah, I'm still actually reading the comics online. I'm in like the 60s, so I think I'm almost done with the first set of them.
So cool. The anthology is 3 separate books, and I'm still on the first one, so I got a ways to go.
Yeah, a little bit. Have you ever read any of The Boys?
No, I haven't.
You've seen the show, right?
I've seen the show. The show was amazing.
Yeah.
So I haven't had a chance.
The
to
comic takes it like next level.
Yeah, usually does.
Yeah. It's cool. It's a good comic.
I'll have to read it.
The Dracula series that's on Netflix. You guys watch that?
I haven't yet, but I want to.
Yeah.
So I've only watched part 1, but it's good. It's very Bram Stoker's Dracula-esque. The way that they do it, it's based on the same book, but you know what I mean. I mean the way they film and everything, and the sort of many faces of Dracula, I guess, are really played upon. Yeah, okay. But then they have twists in it. Like
it looked good.
There's a Van Helsing twist that you'll see in the first part, and it's kind of like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, somebody at work finished it and said he enjoyed it. So I'm like,
it's
I gotta check it out.
Three essentially 3 movies, 3 90-minute episodes.
Okay.
So
yeah, cool. Yeah, how about you, Ray? Anything good?
Right now I'm reading a book called Rowdy, which is the children of Roddy Piper, who was probably my favorite.
I was going to say Roddy Piper, yeah,
of all time. His children wrote a book on his life, and I got it for Christmas. And I'll tell you, it's a hell of a read. If you get a chance to get it, it's a really good book. Came out in October, and my wife knew I wanted it, so she picked it up for me. And
nice.
You want to talk about a tough life? There's a guy who had a tough upbringing,
right?
Really tough. And the kids don't pull any punches. They go through his whole life, and right up until his passing. In fact, the book was started before he died, and then the children were asked to pick up the slack because of his death, and they really kind of rewrote the book from scratch over going through a lot of memoirs of their father and a lot of details that were not put in the original draft, and it's an amazing book. I highly suggest anybody go on Amazon. I don't remember how much it was, but it wasn't much. Definitely pick that book up.
So cool, yeah. Really I love cool. Piper.
Yeah. He was a hell of a guy. I used to follow his podcast. He had a podcast himself, like the last 4 years of his life. And It was, I don't know if it's still online anymore, but I used to listen to it.
That's what I keep saying. I got into this way late in the game.
No, I think there's room for everybody.
I know there is. It's just, for me to build, I'm trying to build,
Well, that takes time. Any time you would have started, it takes time. But he had a podcast, and it was amazing because he would pull in people from the industry. And just talk to them. I think he actually called it Piper's Pit.
Yeah. Piper's Pit. It's still available on.
Oh shit! Well, I know what I'm doing.
FM radio.
Yes, that's
FM
it.
Radio, right?
Yep. You better listen. I'm telling you, it's amazing. And he didn't pull any punches. That was the thing about Piper. Either you liked him, you hated him. It didn't matter to him.
He was awesome.
But he was a really good guy. That's the thing. He was a really good guy and did a lot of things for a lot of people.
Steve Austin,
too.
Yeah.
I was always a Piper. The day I remember watching WWF back in the early '80s, and that guy when he did that whole Piper's Pit and he set up the whole stage and would beat the living shit out of people, and the stage would fall over and the set would collapse and everything else, and I was hooked. I wasn't a Hulkster. I was into Piper. Yeah. He was just the man. So
he cracked Snooker with a coconut?
Yes. You remember that shit? Oh, man. Yeah, he was something else, that guy. So he left this earth way too early, in my opinion. Had a heart attack. Yeah. He just dropped,
I got mine penciled in here soon.
No, I don't go anywhere. Not yet.
No, I ain't going anywhere. I just, it usually takes a few of them to kill one of us.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Can only hope.
Yeah, Heather got, one of her follow-ups from surgery and everything. And they're like, everything else is looking good, but you got high blood pressure, so now we're going to put you on high blood pressure medicine. And she's like, son of a bitch. I said, no, look, you already had the cancer scare. The heart attack is mine. So,
you can't have that one.
I already told you. You're done. So, one of the things I'm into, obviously I already said I'm reading The Boys, is You.
Okay.
On Netflix. Have you seen this one?
I haven't seen that yet either.
You watched it, right?
I'm trying to catch up on
you watched
Netflix
the whole
stuff.
thing.
I watched all of
Both.
season 1 and season 2.
All right, they just
Did it
announced
just come
season
out?
3. No, it's season. They just announced season 3 is going to be coming out. But
season 2 dropped. Must have been only a month ago.
It was pretty
so.
quick though, because I mean, like they dropped.
But they dropped the season in whole, so you can watch.
So you can watch season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
On Netflix, and we're into season 2 right now, and it's really good. I mean, I can't even really explain it except for just it deals with somebody's internal psyche and everything, and you got to watch it. It's really good. It's cool.
Well, it's funny. We're talking about the Dracula thing and all that, and people were like dissing Netflix for Disney Plus, and it's like Netflix just said, "Hold my beer. We got some stuff coming out. We don't need their shit anymore." So,
Netflix has definitely got a lot of shit.
I'm waiting to see that Uncut Gems with
Adam Sandler.
Yeah, that looked pretty good. So,
there's another one that they just dropped called Messiah.
Yes, somebody at work said they were watching that.
It's about like a Middle Eastern guy that seems like he might be Jesus, and he has all these followers, but there's like I don't know if it's CIA or something. I haven't watched it yet.
Right.
It seems like maybe like CIA or something is following him, and they're not sure whether he's legit or he's like somebody with a fucked up plan that they need to watch out for. So I haven't watched it, but it looks really interesting. I'll probably do it after Dracula.
Yeah. I got to check that one out too. Again, I've still got a list of shit that I have. I did. Let's see. Because I'm trying to play catch up because now we're kind of like that dead area.
Caught
you know,
up some.
We're in that dead area.
Yeah,
we watched Star Wars. We did the review and all that. Whatever. You weren't here for the review, right?
No, because I haven't seen it yet. I don't have time.
All right,
go to the freaking movies. I'll just have to wait until it comes out on Blu-ray and buy the Blu-ray and watch it that way. Because I just haven't had time to go to the movies. So I just watched. Let's see, 2 weeks ago, and I think I mentioned it on the podcast already. But I watched Zombieland Double Tap. Okay, that was really good. Was it?
That was a great sequel. And then I've been meaning to watch it, and last night I finally watched it before I went to bed. The Dead Don't Die.
Yes, that's really good.
It's good, but it's funny. Just tap that filter, whatever you want. You're just checking it. It's good in a way where like you don't know exactly how they're playing it. It's like sometimes it's meta, and like and like Adam Driver is straight meta in this thing a few times throughout the movie, but everybody else is acting like, but not like almost not like quite in a Deadpool way, but almost.
Yeah.
Well, there's definitely the the fourth wall breaking or whatever.
There is a little bit,
How do you know that? It's in the script.
Yeah, that's in it. Yeah. You've seen it.
Yeah. I've seen
it. You've seen it. So yeah, I just love that part. It was like it's in the script. You read the script, the whole script? Yeah. Where'd you get it? Joe gave you the whole script, asshole. He only gave me the parts that we're in. So it was kind of like, for me, it was funny. It didn't really take me out of it, but it was like almost like that one part didn't know what it wanted to be. Right. You know, so it was like you could have either leaned into it a little bit more or not, because it was kind of like here or there. But yeah, I really liked it. It was a good zombie movie, and a good different zombie movie. It wasn't the same old shit.
I mean, it's a zombie comedy really too, but it's done like
it's a zomcom.
Not in a double tap way though. The comedy is like very subtle,
dry, very dry.
Yeah, dry. Subtle's probably not
as
the right
dry
term,
as the zombies in the movie.
Yeah.
Every time they cut them, this is dust.
Yep. And it's funny how it's almost like they were recording it, but it was really happening. And they knew what was going to happen because of the script, but it meant that it was really happening to them.
Right.
That's the way you play into it.
Yeah, it was weird. And the amount of the stars, the celebrities that were in this damn thing were ridiculous. It was just, even for like bit parts. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, it was good. So I recommend it to everybody. Dead Don't Die. Go check it out. It came out last year. I miss it. That was one of those that was like on our... What did you miss that you wanted to see? And it was on my list of I really wanted to see it, and I never got to see it. Right. So I finally watched it last night.
Yeah, I forgot when you asked me, but I watched Brightburn last night.
Yeah, I saw that too.
What'd you think?
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Like some people really loved it. I think like Paul really loved it.
So
I liked it a lot.
I liked it.
Could have been more,
but I think it definitely, to me, it wasn't what some people kept saying it was. You know what I mean? As far as
I really
good.
didn't. Yeah. I really didn't get all that from. There are some great effects in it, though. I mean, like the car crash scene with the guy, like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming. And the way he's just like, oh, I don't want to ruin it for anybody. So you're getting hand motions here you can never see. But
yeah, it plays really well on an audio format.
Yeah. No, it's perfect because I don't want to ruin it for anybody.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. How about you, Ray? Was there anything last year aside from, Rise of Skywalker that you wanted to see and you haven't seen yet? That you're planning on trying to check out?
Not that I know of. I think Skywalker was about the only thing I didn't get a chance to see at all. Okay. And I've seen, The Dead Don't Die was one of those ones I had to see. Mm-hmm. Brightburn, I was like, looks like it could be interesting. It exceeded some of my expectations, but again, kind of led you down this path. And once you got there, you kind of knew it was going to go down that route.
Yeah.
And so, but...
It was just more horror-esque than I was expecting. Yep. Like I wasn't expecting quite as much blood and gore as they.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was going to be a lot more comedy.
Yeah,
I mean it was funny, but I thought it was going to lean more on the comedy than it did. Yeah, that's what I was just say. Blah, 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 blah. That word.
All right,
I'm trying to send you something.
All right. Anyway. So is that it? Is that for what are you into? Are we good to start
this?
I
think so, yeah.
Start this? Okay, so...
Like I said, it's a dead week.
January 13th, I think that might have been yesterday? Yes. They released Morbius, the first Morbius trailer. What did you guys think? I know we all saw it, but...
It was good. I liked it a lot.
I have to say, it was a note for me, because I've read the comic. And I love the makeup effects when he fully turns. That was the comic book personified. And I really dig that when they... And Marvel seems to nail that on the head with, like, Spider-Man. When you see that mask for the first time and those eyes open and close, that's the comic, cool. Morbius is the same way. He had to have that specific look. And when he turned around for that millisecond, they got it. The lightning in a bottle. And I'm really looking forward to seeing that one. Definitely.
And this, just my opinion, I think this may be better for Jared Leto than the Joker.
Oh, absolutely.
Way
absolutely.
better.
I think he fits it really well, and it felt sort of I know it's just a trailer that's 2 minutes long, but it felt natural for him to be there.
Yeah.
That Joker.
Oh yeah, no, it was 100%. He was his Joker sucked. And it doesn't even. Well, obviously the guy was in makeup the whole time, but it didn't even look like him.
In all honesty, they were basing it on a very limited production run comic that really didn't take off in the first place. Yeah. So why would you base your Joker on that? I don't blame him so much as the direction they went.
True. I wonder if they would have gotten. That was me. I was saying something. Okay. I wonder if they would have gotten a better performance out of him in a different version of it. Maybe even closer to Heath Ledger or, because you don't have to, again, I know you don't want to get too close to Heath Ledger, but that was the best one so far.
Yeah.
So it's like, my only takeaway from this that was in the negative is right smack in the middle of the first half of it, it comes up with, from the makers of Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, Venom, and I'm like, oh, shit. See, every time you do that in a trailer, you don't have faith in your movie.
Yeah.
That's what that screams to me. Now, it might also be just that Sony's like, hey, look what we did, and we don't need Marvel to do this. But
I think it was more in that direction.
I think
with given everything that's gone on between Disney and Sony, I think this is their way of saying, we're marking our territory. These are our characters. I mean, we're allowing Disney to use them, but we own them.
That was them pissing on the tree.
Right, exactly.
But, they shouldn't, because I'm telling you, it's coming around the pike. Disney's going to drop money on them.
Was it, though? Because we have something to talk about here, which is what I was posting on our social media accounts about earlier this week. Because at the end of that, you see Michael Keaton.
Yes.
And he's in a white jumpsuit that looks just like the prison jumpsuit he had on at the end of Homecoming. And that makes me think they're making a connection between Sonyverse and the MCU.
Yeah.
Right?
And there's not just a small connection there. Like, that would be the connection to MCU. There's a poster of Spider-Man in the alley.
In the alley,
Yeah.
right.
But did you see?
And it says like
murderer
across
somebody
it.
spray painted murderer across it,
which is a Far From Home reference, right?
Yep.
right. But if you look at the poster of Spider-Man,
Right.
that's not the MCU Spider-Man.
It's not. You're
It's
right.
from the PS4 game.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like from that, like the one image you always see online whenever people post about it.
Okay.
You see that one shot of him swinging.
Yeah.
That's the one they used.
Okay, but we've had teasers about a potential Sinister Six lineup, right? And at
Yep.
this point, Sony has Morbius coming,
Yep.
which was originally part of the Sinister Six. Venom, which
Was
was
he?
a part of the alternate Sinister Six.
Yep.
Was Morbius part of the Sinister Six?
Yep.
Yeah, he was. And then Venom was part of that alternate Sinister Six that happened later in the timeline,
Yeah, it
and
was
then
Venom.
he ended up turning on them, and then Vulture. So you've got three. Well, the Sinister Six makeup. I know you're looking,
I know
counting
it's
your hand
changed,
here,
yeah.
but it changed several times. There
Yeah.
was
I
there
just
was
don't remember
different
Morbius being
versions
part
of
of it.
Sinister Six.
Yeah.
Morbius was in one of them.
All these teams change.
Oh yeah, I know that.
So,
I never remember Morbius being one of them.
Yeah.
I gotta.
He was early on, I think, too.
I'll try to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what you're saying,
I think
like,
he
it was
was
one of the
I
originals.
think he was one of the originals.
Yeah.
but-
That's cool. I mean, I just remember Doc Ock, Electro.
Oh no! You know what? Actually, I
Mysterio,
think no. I might be confused.
Kraven the Hunter.
I was gonna say Morbius took Doc Ock's spot, but it might have been Venom that took Doc Ock's spot. When
I think it
I
was.
really don't remember.
Scorpion, Sandman. I got them all. It was Doc Ock, Mysterio, Electro, Vulture, Sandman, and Scorpion.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no Morbius in there.
Well,
He might have
comes
been
in.
it later on.
Yeah.
Oh, he replaces Mysterio when
Yep.
the first Mysterio. Okay, that's
Okay,
what
okay.
it is. Yeah.
I must have missed that part. All right, whatever. It's all good. Fine. He was in there. Everybody was in there at one point.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. Venom gets added later.
It's like everybody got a symbiote at one point, and everybody
Sandman
got,
obviously got added later.
everybody and their mother had a healing factor at one point. What do we do with this guy? I don't know. Give him a healing factor.
There you
Welcome to the 90s. and pockets. Pouches. He needs pouches.
Right.
Thanks, Rob.
Well, in any case, so I mean, it's a.
He just straight went down the rabbit hole. Like,
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking at the team members for Sinister Six, and then there's like 50 different lineups.
yeah.
It's like,
Absolutely.
oh, Jesus Christ,
You'll be
man.
there forever.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Yeah.
so I don't
So it
know.
looks
was
good.
It was interesting. It could be a cameo from Michael Keaton for all we know, but it looked
Yeah.
like they were trying to make.
I'd
some
love to
sort
see
of
him
tie-in.
do it.
And so,
yeah, I think I got my money on they're doing it because of the last announcement we got where they came to an agreement for whatever. But I keep saying if I was a betting man, and I don't gamble, but if I was, and we were to talk about the future of Sony, Spider-Man, Marvel, whatever, I'm telling you, sooner rather than later, you're going to see Disney drop a shit ton of money on Sony and just say, just give them back. We're done. We're not
probably.
fucking with you.
But so
Because this deal that they got, the last deal that they got, was not as long as they wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had talked before. This isn't really on the script, but we had talked before about the deal that they tried to make, and Disney wanted 50-50 in the beginning, and we thought they maybe settled at something smaller than that.
Yep.
It was released maybe in the last week or so that they didn't settle on shit, and Sony kept exactly the same deal they had. So Disney gets 5% first gross and all merchandising revenues, and that's it. They didn't get anything extra after the agreement with Spider-Man, which tells you how much Disney wanted that agreement, I guess.
Oh, absolutely.
To not give at all. I mean, to not get anything, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. Well, because they had a lot riding on Spidey.
Yeah. But
He
when
was supposed to carry Phase 4.
Yep.
And then Sony said, pump the brakes. What the fuck, really? You know, he was supposed to carry it. He was supposed to carry Phase 4, and they were going to use him to humanize Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
All right. So in any case, you have at this point Vulture, Morbius,
Right.
Scorpion
was teased, Mysterio is there,
Yeah.
Venom. So that's not necessarily a group that was all together in the Sinister Six at the same time,
Right.
No,
but
no.
it's enough to make
Make a
you need one more to finish the team off.
Right.
Yeah. And it ain't going to be Jamie Foxx. Telling you. Norman's coming.
So,
watch.
Yep.
Yeah, probably. My other thought on this is if they really want to tie stuff together, what better thing to put in an end credits scene than the new Blade?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that was
Let's see.
that would
Let's
be a
see
really
what
good
happens. Let's see if it happens in post credit scene. Maybe there'll be a Mirzahan Ali, Mirshahana,
God bless you.
Rabo.
Margie Rabo. All right, next. We got.
Oscar nominations were announced. They basically they're nearly a carbon copy of what we did with the Golden Globes.
Yeah. By the way, did you see what happened at the Golden Globes, Ray?
Sort of. I saw
With
something.
the Ricky Gervais
Yes.
just chewing people
Yep.
apart. Oh my god, it was so great. And he's just doubled down, and then a whole bunch of other people have like come to back him up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone I did not know was, I mean, I kind of figured he was leaning in that direction, but I did not know he was this vicious and this hysterical on Twitter. But Pat Sajak is fucking incredible.
I saw something.
He just fired, but it's not the first time he's done it. He's done it numerous times where he's been like, you know, I as a celebrity know a lot more. So
Yeah,
you know,
he joked on himself.
Get ready to. I'm going to bestow my wisdom upon you. Whatever, blah blah blah. Just making fun of all celebrities, you know, doing that.
He said something about how like the common man has talked to his armed guards many times or something.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
it was so great. He was no,
Wow.
he says, not that I don't know anything about the real world. I know much about the real world. I'm always interested to hear what my fans have to say to my security personnel.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh,
it was
God.
fucking great. But yeah, but he's always doing that. But he's really always just like putting a knife into like main Hollywood,
Right.
and it's funny as shit. I didn't realize it until I went back and looked at it. After that article. They just kind of talked about a whole bunch of shit he's done before, and I'm like, holy shit, this guy's incredible.
Well, and you know, when you really think about it, and my opinion can mean nothing, but when I think of main Hollywood, I think of people that are relevant. And Pat Sajak, I mean,
Yeah.
he's been a host of a television show for 40 years almost, and that I guess makes him relevant, but he's not relevant. So I think him jabbing is perfect.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of outside looking in on this upper echelon.
Yeah.
That he's technically a part of, but you don't really think of him that way.
Right, yeah.
So that
And
makes it really funny.
So basically, he just did the same thing coming to Ricky Gervais's aid when everyone was starting like, oh my God, look what you did. You know,
Get a hold of yourself.
You know, stop preaching. Shut up.
Stop making candles that smell like your hoo-ha.
I don't know. Hang on, wait.
That's a real thing.
That is a real thing.
Who the hell was that? Who was that?
Hi.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, it was Gwyneth Paltrow?
My wife walks in as Ray saying, stop making candles that smell like your hoo-ha.
Some actress may or
Gwyneth
may not be
Paltrow.
Gwyneth
Paltrow.
Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow made a candle that smells, and it's called "This Candle Smells Like My Vagina."
Taking a lot of work to put that candle in her hoo-ha for every.
Do you want to sit in?
Look, I kind of want a sense of smell right now.
No, you really don't.
No. To think that somebody is that
Smells like a
that
Chinese.
uppity.
Smells like a Chinese fish market.
Well, hey. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, the sponsors just left. Your timing is impeccable, my dear.
Or is it my timing?
Yeah, both.
That definitely wasn't on the outline for the record.
No, it was
I
nowhere
didn't
yet.
write that.
Eric's
I'm
checking
writing-
his notes, going, "I don't have vagina candles anywhere on here."
I did see it, but no, I didn't put it on here.
That's a T-shirt you can sell.
Oh my
The
God.
shirt smells like my vagina.
There you go.
Just do that.
Make a fucking killing.
All right, so I'll blow through these because there's a lot of repetition from the
Yeah.
Golden Globes. But Joker did receive 11 nominations, which makes the most of any movie in the entire thing, which is pretty amazing considering it's comic based. Now, I
Yes,
understand
yeah.
it's way off the mark for a normal comic movie, but it's still amazing.
It is
that
the
they got
most,
that many.
I guess, avant-garde comic book or whatever you want to call it.
You know what's
the
funny?
elite comic
Still haven't
book.
seen that either.
Really?
Oh,
I haven't seen a lot of things. I really need to sit down and start watching
Ray's
some movies.
fired.
Okay,
So,
good night, everybody.
1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and The Irishman were right behind them with 10 nominations each. No surprise, it's just like Golden Globes. Tarantino, Scorsese, and Phillips all nominated for Best Director. No surprise, just like Golden Globes.
Right.
Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story was up for Best Actress, along with Charlize Theron from Bombshell. I don't think Charlize Theron was up in the Golden Globes. I don't remember for sure.
I don't know.
Adam Driver, Joaquin Phoenix, Leo DiCaprio up for Best Actor. Laura Dern, Scarlett Johansson, Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie.
We didn't tell you that story. We'll tell you later.
Up for Best Supporting Actress. Pacino and Pesci up for Best Supporting Actor, along with Brad Pitt for his bit in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And then, not that this is anything worth talking about, but I just thought we'd point it out that Rise of Skywalker was nominated for only 3. Right. And it was original score, no surprise.
Which by the way,
which is deserved.
Yes.
Good.
Visual effects and sound editing.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd agree with all those.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
So that's it for Oscars. There's really nothing new here, to be honest. I mean, I guess Rise of Skywalker, but
all right. So let's go. Not off topic, but let's just talking about the Oscars and. We've already made fun of the Golden Globes and all that shit that happened. We've already made fun of Hollywood, so it's kind of a redundant point at this point. But have the Oscars lost something?
I don't think the Oscars had something.
A host.
Let's
they
kind
haven't
of
had a host for the last 2 years.
Nice.
I'll give you one of them too. 'Cause that was
nice.
really good.
That was good. Well, I just mean all right. I remember as a kid, not really the Oscars per se, but I can never keep any of these things together, straight in my head.
Right.
But all these award shows, I remember as a kid, trying to see who would win an award.
Right.
It seemed like a big deal to me as a kid, right?
Right.
But I'm at this point, and I'll explain why I think this is. But I'm at a point now in my age where I'm just looking it's just the same old shit. And it's there's none of that ooh, who's going to win anymore for me. And I think it's because, much like Ricky Gervais said, I'm just tired of hearing them fucking preach.
Right.
I'm so done with it.
And I think that's part of it too.
I think that's what killed it.
When the Oscars used to be about their craft, what they made, and if they were deserving of it. Now it's about the upper echelon. Who's the most popular? Who's this? Who's that?
And all the social justice shit.
All the social that they honestly don't deal with. Honestly, they close their door and pretend things aren't happening.
Yeah.
Unless
what's
say
the
it's
trending
important.
thing? Let me tweet that out.
Right.
And then that's it. Yeah.
And if they have to get involved, it means something for their career. And that's the key to the whole thing. Or else they're making vagina candles.
Yeah,
I mean,
True. True.
But
yeah, so it's just, to me, it's just lost something.
Right.
So,
I agree with you.
because it went to the point where, like I said, I used to look forward to these as a kid, but now I'm like, I really look forward to maybe like Video Music Awards back in the day. But, but now it's like I look to like the People's Choice Awards sometimes, but I love the Razzies,
right?
And I love watching like the Kids' Choice Awards,
right?
Because the people that show up there look like they're having a good time and they're there for these
legit,
kids,
yeah. Yeah.
So I was just saying how it seemed like the Oscars have lost shit, over the years, and it's because I'm tired of getting preached to, and that's all it is. It's a bunch of do this, don't do that. Listen to me because I'm important, and it's a bunch of people. Everyone just glad handing each other.
Right, that's what it is. Okay, we made another million this year.
Yeah, it's no longer like when I was a kid. It was you're getting that award because you did really good in your craft and people loved you.
Right.
It's not that anymore, So it just seems like
it's that to some extent, but I think it's only taken that seriously by a subgroup of folks that are getting certain awards, directing awards tend to be pretty prestigious, and then the secondary awards that teams get for visual effects and first time doing this or that or the other, and
and some of that means stuff in their industry.
Right.
But as I was saying,
I think that's what I was discussing a moment ago. Is it used to be about the art? It used to be about the way they made it, the craft.
Yep.
And when things became digital and things became you sat at a desk and made something on a computer. That's when we started losing touch with what made a movie before.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why you kind of hear people now, well, we're doing this practically. We're not using digital effects. That's why. Because they want people to realize, hey, we are putting effort in.
People are sick of it, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and that's where I am with movies as a whole. Like, a prime example, Toy Story 4. Did we really need it? No, we didn't really need it. It was just hey, let's close it out.
Well, okay, on that note, Toy Story 3, to me, was a perfect ending.
Right.
But
exactly.
When they announced Toy Story 4, I said then, I was like, I'm a little nervous about it because I'm like, you closed it out perfect.
Right.
You're gonna go to the well one too many times
right.
to bring a wrestling metaphor into it.
Yep.
But they hit it. They hit it good. So for me, I was like, all right, I get what they're trying to do. They did still leave it open where there are more stories to tell with these kids or whatever.
Sell merch.
Well, yeah, but that's all Star Wars is about. Too.
Well,
Star Wars
the minute I saw the bunny and the ducky, I said, "Why aren't they characters walking around studios right now?
They need to be.
Or the motorcycle guy.
Yeah,
which really I was kind of hyped for because it looked like
Duke
Evil
Kaboom.
Knievel. Yeah, he looked like Evil Knievel, so I was kind of cool with that one.
Well, that was my thing. But like, all right, they tell a good enough story. That was my thing. As long as you tell a good enough story to keep it going, fine, keep going because you have stories to tell. But once you know, all right, look, we're tapped out, just end it gracefully.
Just not Cars.
Yeah, don't Cars it.
Leave Cars alone.
That Cars 3 wasn't actually half bad. The kids had it on the other day, and I was watching it.
It was Rocky 3.
Yeah,
it was Rocky 3. That's all it was.
Yeah, it was all right. It was good.
It's Rocky 3. Okay,
but yeah. So I don't know. I just think I'm done with the award shows. I want to watch the Kids' Choice Awards, and you guys all listen to our annual Geek Awards, and that'll be a thing. That'll be it. So, all right, moving on from that fiasco. Sorry. Jesus, we're almost at an hour and we haven't done anything.
Okay, so the next bit of news is that a Willow series may be coming to Disney Plus.
I am all for this.
I am very hyped for this, actually. I was a huge fan of that movie when it came out.
I love Warwick Davis.
Yes.
That guy is awesome.
He's amazing.
So,
have you ever seen his... So, again, Jesus. Have you ever seen, like, his... little interview segments that he does.
Yeah.
He's done them at like the Star Wars stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Where like he's on a couch and he'll be sitting there talking like he's like the host, and then all of a sudden what he did at this one, he was hosting, but someone didn't show up or whatever, so he was like, well, I'm just gonna interview myself. And he started interviewing himself, but he kept getting up and running to the couch. And and so he would be both people. And it was the funniest fucking thing I'd seen in like forever. But he's very entertaining.
I think the key with him...
And he gives a shit.
Yes, he does. But there's a reason for that. He grew up in that industry. He literally grew up in it. I mean, I think he was like 8 years old when he played Wicket in Jedi.
Yeah.
So the guy has lived this industry.
Yep.
And I think that's why he's so well respected by people. Because not only of his height, his size, it has to do with the fact that he knows this industry better than most people do.
Sure.
And I think that goes a long way with him. And I'm excited for Willow. I'm going to say it because that was the first movie I remember Lucas doing that did not have Star Wars before Star Wars. It was that kind of like epic, like you wanted to see that thing go farther.
Yeah.
And, when it kind of fell flat, which I didn't understand because I saw it in the theater the day it was released and I loved it. And I didn't understand why people didn't, it's not Star Wars. Yeah. That's what people were saying at the time. Though. It's not Star Wars. So when I saw that was just like vindication for a good movie.
But do you get Val Kilmer again?
Potentially.
Yeah. He's doing better.
No official announcement. So
he's in Top Gun.
What?
Okay, well, that's what we said last week. He's in it, but is he like sitting on the side of the volleyball court eating a bowl of ice cream?
No.
Did he get in shape?
Well, I don't know about
that.
Got
in
but
he's shape.
Well,
he's
not that he's been very sick. He had cancer.
Oh, okay.
And throat cancer, if I'm not mistaken. So he came back from that shit. And he did last year, which I wanted to see. He did a one-man show on Mark Twain that he did. He did for a year after his treatment. And he gained some weight for that show because, of course, also he lost weight due to the cancer treatment.
Right.
So he gained a lot of weight back. But they just did an interview with him like a couple weeks ago about Top Gun. And he looked really good. He looked healthy enough. I mean, he's, and he's, early 60s by now.
Yeah, sure.
So, he's not in that Top Gun Real Genius
yeah.
physique anymore. Top Secret, remember that one? That goes back a few years.
Yeah.
That was his first movie. But, he, I think he could pull it off. I mean, he would be obviously in a different position. His character would be in
like a king or something.
King or something, yeah. So I could see him pulling it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I guess there's a little more to this. So this has been rumored for, I don't know, over a year at this point that this would happen.
Close to it, yeah.
But on January 6th, what was that, a week ago, give or take?
Yeah.
8 days ago. John Kasdan, who was the screenwriter for Solo, posted a tweet. And in it, he had a picture, and it was a corkboard. And right in the center was a little cartoon of Willow. And it said, "The office is open."
Oh, wow.
So they've apparently been green light to at least start writing the script for the series. And then director Ron Howard, or the director of the original Willow, Ron Howard, I don't know if he's going to direct this, but I would assume so.
I would think so too. Especially in his involvement in Solo.
He has previously said he wanted to do this, and that George wanted to do this. Right. And that he thought it could do, as a series, it would be like a lot more intimate and a lot better way to do it.
And especially the way, today's viewers would be into it because of Game of Thrones and things like that. I think this is the time to.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, think Disney Plus's Game of Thrones. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, they got to do something now that Mandalorian's over and people are canceling theirs. They got to do something to keep them going.
So
let's go watch a fucking Disney movie. Mandalorian will be back.
You can't watch Snowball Express 50,000 times.
Ron Howard also said John Kasdan had an inspired take on it, which means Kasdan's already given Ron Howard the idea of what he thinks the script's going to look like, even though he hasn't written it yet. So could be great. The reason I bring this up now is not just the January 6th announcement, but January 10th, Warwick Davis did an interview on Coming Soon, and he specifically talked about this. And he said, basically, you guys are getting a little ahead of yourselves because, I'm willing to do this, and the screenwriting is happening, but, they haven't put forth like a budget and actually greenlit the whole season yet.
Right.
And it's probably going to happen, but... it is what it is.
Yeah, but he's just giving a little dose of reality.
But I think, given the talent that's involved, I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so either.
I think it will happen because, again, they need shows now. I mean, Mandalorian obviously was that push forward that they needed, and now they're like, okay, what next?
Mandalorian's lightning in a bottle, though.
Well, that's it.
That's ridiculous.
That's the thing.
I don't see it losing that come the next season either. It's going to keep on going.
Willow could have their baby Yoda. And then we'll be memeing that to death.
Yeah.
So for what it's worth, they did say this would focus on a more mature Willow. So this will be after,
right?
I assume roughly as much time as has passed in the real world, which is 31 years.
Yes,
sure,
give or take. I think it was
about 88. He's probably chilling out, thinking he's retired, and so another fucking baby. What?
Well, there's things that are never answered in the movie, which is like how powerful did he become, and did he really, learn to be a proper sorcerer? And you don't know any of that stuff. So this is a great way to explore that and do it with some good effects this time. I mean, not that the original ones weren't good, but
that dragon was awesome for its time.
That dragon reminded me of the Rancor, and I always wondered if they used the same studio to do the visual effects.
They did. ILM was.
It was ILM too.
It was ILM.
Okay.
Yeah.
No surprise, I guess.
It was to me, and the funny thing is, I think with Willow being on Disney Plus, I think is part of the hype too, because people are revisiting that movie for the first time in over 30 years. Because again, it was one of those either you loved it or you hated it. It was, very polarizing. I think people are going back and looking at it now, going, this is a damn good movie.
Oh yeah,
and maybe that, because they're watching what people are watching.
Well, yeah. Plus, that's the thing. Like with all the nostalgia effect now, everyone is looking at. They've been doing it for the last couple of years now.
Right.
Looking at everything back then, it was like, what was good?
Yeah.
What do people love? What can we do that will spark that? Star Wars, Willow, Transformers, yada 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 effect. Insert 80s property here.
Yeah, I think basically. I'm on a tangent here.
They're getting ready to do Mask.
Yeah, Mask. I heard about.
They're doing Mask.
Yeah, I
It's
heard
coming
about
up
that.
in the next year or so.
Yeah.
I'm going to tangent here, but I think this is probably a unique time, and we won't. A lot of people have bitched about, all you're doing is remaking movies, right?
Yeah.
I think this, or probably about 3 years ago, and then maybe for the next 10, but you're at a point where all the effects and capabilities you have in filmmaking is sort of like at the photorealistic point, right? And now is the perfect time to look back and say, hey, everybody loved that movie, but the visual effects didn't hold up. Nobody would watch it today unless they have that nostalgic attachment to it. And it's a perfect time to remake it. And I think this period of remaking shit it's got a limit, because there's going to come a point where it's like, okay, you can't do any better. We're not going to remake it again 10 years from now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless you're Disney remaking or turning every animated shit into
that actually plays to the same point, though, in that you actually have the visual effects to do things that you could only do in a cartoon before.
Sure, yeah. Sometimes good, sometimes bad.
Yeah.
Holding out hope for Milan. We'll see.
Now they're talking about doing Atlantis. They're looking to do the Atlantis movie. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
You know what I think they should do on Disney Plus? Because they fucked up the movie the first time, Haunted Mansion.
Yes.
I would say if they did not
keep
a
Eddie
series,
Murphy the fuck away from it.
not a series, but do a movie like where Guillermo del Toro was going to jump in and do this Haunted Mansion movie like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That really, and he was going to focus on things like the Hatbox Ghost and all these other, because he's like a huge nut for the Haunted Mansion. And I'm thinking, boy, that would be killer for Disney Plus. Fuck, put it in the movies, put it on Disney Plus, and people would go batshit crazy for it, just like they did for Pirates of the Caribbean 20 years ago.
If they do, and then we can jump back on topic. If Disney takes a few ideas like that, in the vein of Netflix dropping their own content, right, movie wise, right, because they're doing series right now, right? If Disney Plus jumps on a few movies, right, it'll keep these people. It's going to keep them busy,
because that's what Netflix has got that they don't. I mean,
you get those movies coming in. They got so much shit they can play around with too.
They have a whole wealth of 100 years worth of stuff that they could literally do. Forget that. Just pick shit out of your park. Take one of your rides and turn it into a movie. Yeah. You started doing okay until you hit a speed bump with Haunted Mansion before, but if you learn from your mistakes and you put it on your own platform, make it exclusive, people are going to buy it. Yeah, and I think that's a mistake they're making right now.
So, I think so. They're gonna.
All I will say is that there's a budget that goes along with that idea.
I know.
And Mandalorian alone cost them $100 and something million to produce.
Yeah.
About a week after, they hold their numbers too close for us to know the truth at this point, but about a week after launch, they had 10 million subscribers at $7 a piece. So that didn't even pay for Mandalorian. I mean,
well, right. Well, and they even said they
it will. I mean, everything will add up. But
the news said going into it for the first few years, Disney was going to be
they're going to be taking a hit on it. Yeah, and that may sound like a fine thing, but they're publicly traded.
Hey, Bob's got to eat too,
Well,
listen,
all the shareholders Bob answers to
need to eat. Yeah,
I'm just
saying, I don't know if they
if
need to eat, but they need to buy lobster for somebody.
There's a handful of movies in there that they can make.
My child needs a lobster.
That could be a complete episode when we get into our planning thing later.
Yes.
That could be an episode just like what can these different companies or different broadcasters
like if we were in charge of Disney Plus, how would we do it? What would we fill it with? I think it's a great
pick the different ones: Warner Brothers, Disney, all of them.
As a point of comparison, though, Netflix has, because they've released the data, roughly 150 million subscribers at give or take $15 a month each.
Right.
So budgetarily, they have got a huge advantage over Disney Plus, and Disney Plus may have way better properties to lean into, but they're not going to do anything half-ass either. You know, Netflix has dropped a lot of low-budget series and movies. Disney will never do that.
They've been around for 10 years doing this.
That's true.
It makes a difference. They have the traction. And regardless of the people that said, oh, we're going to dump Netflix for Disney Plus, they're not dumping Netflix now.
No.
Because, again, there's not enough on the platform, and I think you're right. They have to build over the next couple of years to make it viable.
Yeah.
I think it's smart that they have Hulu. I think between the two of them, it'll jump up. But
I want to start to see that adult content hit Hulu, like Deadpool 2, that kind of shit. That's what I'm waiting for.
Snow White's Freaky Adventures.
Sure.
I honestly, man, we have too many tangents already. But
Yeah, sorry.
I feel like Disney is easing into the adult content already.
With what?
Take Mulan, for example. They've made it not a princess movie. There's no freaking... We don't know what's happening. But, I mean, if you look at the trailer, like...
It does.
That is geared towards somebody that likes martial arts films, not towards children.
True, yeah, it definitely
That's
had
a
a
smart
Crouching
move.
Tiger.
Yeah,
vibe.
exactly.
That's a smart move.
And
All right,
Mandalorian
maybe.
is, of course...
I'm just saying they got a lot of shit they're sitting on right now that they can be giving to fans that's adult shit. They got the whole Aliens franchise. They got all this shit.
Well,
under
now I've
Fox.
heard that they're going to continue the Aliens franchise.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they take like 21st Century Fox
Right.
and keep it just like they did, we said it before when they did what was it, Miramax or Touchstone?
Yeah, Touchstone.
They had all those, right? And they had more mature content.
Right.
Do it there.
Yeah.
Do it all there.
I
Deadpool,
agree.
all that shit, all under Fox. And then they can kind of blend when they want to blend, and they don't have to. There's ways to do it. They just got to...
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Moving on.
All right, we got 4 topics and not enough time. January 10th, Paramount Pictures announced that filming began on the Snake Eyes film. I think it was Paul who hadn't heard about it, or was it you?
I had no
Oh, it was
idea.
you.
And it was amazing because this was like my favorite G.I. Joe growing up.
So this is apparently going to be an origin story.
Do you know anything about this?
Not at all.
Ta-da.
This one threw me for a loop.
Do you like G.I. Joe?
I love G.I. Joe.
So we're going to get, if you guys remember in the original cartoons, when they first found Snake Eyes, he was like living in the highlands in some mountain or something. You knew nothing about his story, and they never really revealed anything. Well, not much of anything anyway.
Yeah, well, they trickled it. In the comics, it was like he was their commando, he was always quiet, and then when they started to reveal shit, it was like, yeah, he was in Nam with Stalker. Stalker knew him back before he got disfigured and whatever, and yada yada. And little by little, they start to release the background, where his background was Storm Shadow and all that other stuff. Here's Noah. Ready for bed? No? But you've had a couple of late nights, so tonight's early. And tomorrow we start football training. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, Noah started playing football last Saturday. Well, sorry, he's been playing for years, but his new season started Saturday.
All right.
They won 18-6. He is now, what's your team?
Packers.
The Packers, that's right. Mommy's happy. So,
Did
yeah.
you have something to do with that?
I did.
A little bit.
Every time we sign up, I say, request to be called the Packers.
And finally, after like doing it for like 2 years, one of the girls that works it, you're leaving though. You can't turn the mic on. One of the girls that runs it was like, I can make it the Packers this year. So this season for 7 weeks, he's the Packers. We'll see if we keep it. But yeah, they won. They showed really good. The 3 new kids that we got look really good. Noah did really good. But he came home from the game going, oof, yeah. And I said, yeah, it's been a long break through the holidays. I said, yeah. I said, and this is like the 8-9 range where you're faster now. Everyone's faster. So he knows he's got to start doing some drills so he can build up his speed.
Right.
Because, he's getting there. Yeah. Right? All right. Love you.
You have a plate made for you.
Okay, thanks.
Don't forget your Tupperware. Don't forget my kid tomorrow.
Good night, Noah.
It's legally okay to beat children on this podcast. Good night, bud. I love you.
All right, so the Snake Eyes film will be an origin story. It will be directed by Robert Schwentke, who did R.E.D. You guys remember
Bless
that?
you.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Henry Golding, he was in Crazy Rich Asians. He played the guy named Nick. Asians. Crazy Rich Asians. He played the guy named Nick.
Words are hard.
Anyway, he'll be the lead. He'll be the lead role as Snake Eyes. And then they're going to have Storm Shadow, Hardmaster, Scarlet, and Baroness as a villain in this movie. So that's all officially announced. So that's all legit. What's interesting is that this is coming to theaters October 23rd. And they just started filming January 10th. I'm actually a little surprised that it's happening kind of that quickly. But I guess it's a G.I. Joe spinoff, so.
So Snake Eyes is going to be one of the Asians from Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? See, here's one of those where we discuss the, I guess the changes to race and gender and this and that, whatever, right? In the comics, Snake Eyes is a fucking blonde white guy.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with this one so much just because, I mean, he's going to be disfigured. You're not going to see his face. It's not essential to who he is.
Right.
If, he could be an Asian born in America and winds up back over there. Because that was the whole key was he was an American. He went over there because he served in Nam with Storm Shadow and Stalker. And when he got disfigured, Storm Shadow took him back home to his home and to help him find peace within himself.
Right.
And that's when he becomes a ninja and blah, 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 whatever. That's the whole key to Snake Eyes.
Right.
In a nutshell. There's a whole lot more in there because there's years of comics. But that's the thing. He's an American that goes over there with them. And it seems for quite a long time that he upholds the traditions and whatever of their clan better than Storm Shadow because Storm Shadow's a Cobra or whatever. And there's a whole lot more involved in that, right?
Yeah.
But that's the key to it. He's an American that goes over there and does. So we'll see how they play it. But again, not too essential to the character.
No,
so I'm okay with it. It's one of those like where we've spoken time and again about when you
some characters
change shit
you can
around,
change,
you can
and some
and can't.
Right.
some it's like ridiculous when you do
This
it.
is one where
you can.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Not that it makes sense, but it's not going to break anything.
It's funny. Have you guys ever seen the show on Netflix, The Toys That Made Us?
Oh yeah, I love that show.
Okay.
One of my favorite shows.
It's amazing to me that Snake Eyes is the most popular character in the whole thing. And when you hear the story about him, that all he was a character that wasn't painted.
Yeah.
They saved money, and he turned out that the plain character that had nothing on him at all was the most popular character in G.I. Joe history, and he's now has his own movie. I just think that just blows my mind, and especially when I watched it because everybody knew he didn't have paint on him, but yet he was the one character everybody had to have out of all of them. And there was so many; it was like 200 and some odd characters in that line, and yet he was the most popular. And here we are today, 30 years later, and he's getting his own movie. Yeah. So that just boggles my mind.
Yeah.
Which I mean, you figure like half of that last one was all about Snake Eyes anyway.
Right.
It was it was about the ninjas and shit. So it goes back to like I think it was around like the 90s into the early 2000s. The comics took a big twist toward hyping up the ninja side of it because that was what was popular.
Yep.
So it makes sense.
It's also worth note, as long as you're going back, that Ray Park played Snake Eyes in the previous G.I. Joe movies.
And did a good job with it.
And he's what? He's Scottish, right? He's Scottish?
Yeah.
It's like,
that dude can play anything.
Yeah.
I mean, he's amazing.
So so I'm looking forward to it. I would love to get more info on it. It's coming out soon though.
October. And Baroness is in it, so that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I want to see who they get to play this
yeah,
this time.
I'm curious of that
I
too.
hated what they did with her character in the first one, but I loved who played her.
You know what? Actually,
She
if
was
memory serves, they actually did announce who's playing Baroness. In Snake Eyes, I will see if I can find that real quick.
Whoa, and I'll make a lot of noise.
It was Sienna Miller in the original G.I. Joe.
Perfectly okay with.
The Snake Eyes spinoff has cast a new Baroness, and it is... Oh, come on. What is this? It's like this article is all about suspense. Ursula Cabero. So she is... I don't even know. Is she Brazilian?
Going to be a whole bunch of this mumbling as we go to try to find out who the hell she is.
Yeah. You'll actually edit it out this time, right?
Yeah, some of it. Yeah, look, you got access to it now, too. Ursula Cabero?
Yeah.
Yeah, this part I'll definitely edit out.
Okay, I found her. Oh, she's Spanish. She's not Brazilian.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can see her doing it. Oh, yeah, throw a set of glasses on her? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yep. Okay, cool.
So that's
Snake Eyes.
All right, so on to next. Noah Hawley, who did Legion and Fargo, started talking about Star Trek 4 finally. So it was reported like about 3 months ago that he had been tapped to direct the next Star Trek movie in the what do you call that? The prequel franchise, I guess. I don't know the earlier year stuff. But he hasn't made any public statements since or anything until January 9th. He did an interview with Deadline, and he said he was going to start on it as soon as he was done with Season 4 of Fargo. I don't know when he's done, but Season 4 of Fargo is set to release on FX on April 19th, so it shouldn't be more than a few months from now before he's finished. He did say that this new Star Trek was going to be new characters, so I guess we're not going to see the original cast come back
and
for
we're
this.
not in the Kelvin universe anymore. This is going to be...
It'll be interesting to see what they do with it. Somebody specifically asked him in the interview if it was going to have any sort of connection with what Alex Kurtzman's doing, which he did. He did Into Darkness, but he's also doing Discovery. He's a producer for Discovery and the Picard series on CBS All Access. So his response was something really vague, like, "I know Alex, I probably should, but there's a firewall between TV and movies." He said some shit like that. Yeah. He's like, so I don't know.
I don't know. It's weird.
So anyway, next one, it was announced by, Scott Derrickson and Marvel that he is not going to do the Doctor Strange sequel. He, of course, did the original Doctor Strange movie, which I don't think any of us had a complaint about.
No, it was very good. And a lot of people are pissed off that he's not directing.
I'm upset that he's not, but...
So both of them cited the same thing, saying that there were creative differences, but that they left it amicably. Now, they're keeping him on as an executive producer, but as you probably know, that doesn't mean a whole lot. Right. He'll get to see most likely final cut stuff. He might have some input, but he's not going to be doing any story writing or anything like that.
Which I think has to do with because I did read an article where someone went into checking out his tweets right before all of this happened, and it you can kind of get the vibe that he was leaving through his tweets, kind of where he was last minute changes are driving him crazy, kind of blah 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 whatever. And I'm wondering if it's got to do with the WandaVision show. Maybe they're trying to tie it in. You know what I mean? Maybe they tried one too many rewrites.
So certainly Feige said that they were going to tie in the series with the movies, and that you needed to watch both. But even at the time that he said that, we thought, they're just trying to get people to sign up for shit. And, the ties are going to be stupid cameos. Not stupid, but they're going to be cameos.
That was cute. But
in-credit suggestions on the series or the season finale.
But nothing really mattered. Yeah. Right. Nothing significant. But
it would be stupid of them to set it up in a way where if somebody didn't have Disney Plus, they wouldn't understand what the fuck's going on in a movie. I mean, give me a break. They're not going to do that.
No. But now here's the thing. If you tie it in, I'm starting to really think this is where you're gonna get the X-Men. This movie is where you're going to get somehow, some way, if she she merges realities or something.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. That's
because I've heard that
this is how you get Dead Logan back. Right?
Yeah, and I've heard that in the show WandaVision, at some point her kids from the comics are in it, and without getting too deep into the history there, she's got these two kids with Vision, whatever, blah blah blah. But they're all. Basically, they initially started out as just figments of her powers. Right. She just created them subconsciously. So it was ridiculous. Okay. But there's something, a script that dropped from WandaVision. So another side note, that one of the kids says something to the other one about their uncle, sleeping on the couch or whatever. So, so Pietro's back. You know, so something's going on with this show. I don't know what yet, but I don't know. Some big shit's going to happen between the show and that movie.
For reasons we still don't know, they moved the release date from 2021 to the end of 2020.
Yeah,
which may have relevance, but I don't understand it yet.
I don't know.
I think with a different director, it's going to be a different story. I heard originally this was supposed to be a very dark movie.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a horror movie.
Yeah. So what if they're moving away from that, and they've come up with something else? Now they have to sit back and
could be, but I think See, you can still do a horror movie. You have to eventually do some type of horror movie with Strange because you have
Oh yeah,
a perfect opportunity to grab these demons like Nightmare and I can't even pronounce it, but Nastier, the one from the X-Men,
right?
Inferno,
yeah.
right? Yeah. That you have all these demons that he can be dealing with, but who knows? I don't know. I want to see what they do. The Multiverse of Madness just screams you're going to be bouncing around from world to world.
Yeah.
So we'll see, I guess.
We shall see. For what it's worth, Marvel did say that production is still going to start in May, even though they don't have a director now and they're trying to find one. So I'm sure everybody and their mother would be willing to do the film at this point, and they could find somebody.
Absolutely.
April 30th, if that's what they need to do.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see who it'll be, because it'll obviously change the feel of things no matter who they pick.
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
I am. Yeah, because they really brought out Doctor Strange in that first movie.
Well, the exact same thing happened with Guardians of the Galaxy when they announced that Gunn wasn't going to be back, and everybody flipped out. And now he's back again because they realize he's kind of the essence of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And without him, it's just not going to feel the same.
Yeah, so. This might be a little bit different because that was a lot of blowback, and they were like, "Oh, we pulled the trigger too fast." On the gun, no pun intended.
Right.
But who knows?
Absolutely.
I don't know. All right, last but not least.
No, I'm going to stick one in the middle here. It'll be a really fast one though.
Okay.
Well, I put on social media,
but
then I forgot to stick it in this outline, but I meant to say it anyway.
Yeah.
So Matt Reeves did a post. Must have been 2 or 3 days ago. Maybe it was longer than that. I don't remember. But it was a picture of Colin Farrell, and it said, "Is that you?" #Oz. So I think this was our confirmation that he's going to play Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin, in the new Batman.
Oh
movie.
Yeah.
So people had suggested that was a sort of a rumor that was floating before, and he said, "No, nothing is done yet."
Right.
But apparently it must be official now. Matt Reeves wouldn't tweet that out. I don't think without it being done.
Yeah, that's got to be it. And I'm all for it. I think it'd be good, especially after seeing the skinny Penguin in the Gotham series.
Well, yeah,
he did good enough.
Yeah, I still have a preference for Danny DeVito's
I know.
Penguin, but
okay, maybe not Danny DeVito's Penguin, just because they went way into the Penguin part of it. But I can see
that's kind of hard to top, though. That Penguin was amazing.
I like that Penguin.
I
really
did.
did.
Well, it's the same thing with.
No,
I loved Jack Nicholson's Joker.
Yeah,
to me, he's still. As good as Heath Ledger did, and he did a great job. It's just
because you got 2 different versions of it. Yeah, like the Penguin, I don't know. I'm trying to think of who I would put in there. Because you want someone who is, like, in the comics, he's a heavier guy.
Yeah, portly.
I'm trying to think of somebody that can, like, do a heavier guy. I don't know. Because everyone keeps getting fit now, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to think about it. We'll write that down. We'll casting the Batman. We'll cast Batman.
That's
too.
right. I think that's a great idea.
All right. Moving on then. Last one I had was Sci-Fi made an official announcement that they are going to do a Chucky series. And so, John, I'm sure you're excited about this. So they did a full season order up front. There's going to be no pilot, Andy.
Oh,
no nothing. And this is Sci-Fi, mind you, but no pilot or anything. The full season will be paid for up front. They got Don Mancini, who did the original Child's Play. He was the creator and writer of it. He essentially owns the franchise, as it were. He's going to write the series adaptation. And he says this is going to explore Chucky's character in a depth you can only do in a series. I'm really not sure what that means. Because
I don't know where else they can go with. Never mind.
Well, unless it's more of a prequel, like the second to last film they did that was on Netflix. I can't remember the name of it, where they went back and showed him alive, and you realize it's his daughter.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would say a prequel would be the way to go if you're going to do it. But
yeah, I will add to that, though. I didn't finish it. Let me read to you his exact statement. The show will be a fresh take on the franchise, allowing us to explore Chucky's character with a depth that is uniquely afforded by television series format, while staying true to the original vision that has terrorized audiences for over 3 decades. It makes it seem like it's still going to be very horror-focused.
Right.
And you can't do that with a prequel, I don't think. I mean, I guess
No,
you've got
You
a
could
guy
as a
that's
serial killer.
Yeah, as a
But
serial
the
killer,
pre-doll
murderer.
Yeah,
but-
but then,
thing.
but the whole
Yeah.
child's play is.
But to me, that is not true to the original vision that terrorized people. What's
No,
true to the
it's the
original
doll.
vision is the
It's the
goddamn
doll.
doll
Yeah, that's
killing
true.
people.
That's true.
So I'm not sure.
So
Unless
it's
they
not
just
new
do-
Child's Play, robot, Chucky.
Well, who knows? Who
No.
knows?
Well, really, and
Which was
honestly,
good.
I'll be honest, it was good. I liked
I liked
the take on it. I didn't think it was a terrible thing at all.
No.
So that would be interesting as well.
It could be a prequel. Who fucking knows?
You
It's just
never
a
know.
statement
Yeah.
he made before it's even written.
Right.
So
You never know what they're going to do.
All right,
And
cool.
it's sci-fi, so who the hell knows?
True.
It could
Yeah.
be the quality of Sharknado at this point. We don't know.
Hey.
So-
Sharknado's a phenomenal film.
so there'll be 5 of them. That's what you're saying.
It's
5
just
seasons.
basically-
There'll be 5 seasons.
There'll be 5 seasons. Chucky versus Sharknado. Oh man!
I'm down.
Spoilers.
I'm ready. All right,
Can we have
fuck
a
it.
Chucky NATO?
Yeah, Chucky Nado. I always said Piranha Cane.
Oh my god,
Piranha Cane. Could you imagine that nonsense?
it's coming. Don't worry. Give him a minute. All right, so I think that's about it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh Jesus! All right, this lasted way longer than I thought. It's not what she said. All right, so let us know what you think of this Geekly Weekly that we did. Any thoughts? Anything that you've heard in the news recently that you want us to cover next week? Hit us up at whatifgeeks.com, whatifgeeks@gmail.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all that happy shit.
Right.
All right, guys. Good night, Tony.
Good night, Becca.
Good night, hoo-ha candle.